it's your girl Haley and welcome to my channel. As you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be a quick little story time. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Today's video is a story time about how I played with the Ouija board. Why I did it, I can't give you like a reasonable answer. When I was like 12 years old, my nanny had actually gotten me one. I don't know why, but I had read somewhere that after you play with it, if something's connected to it and you try to throw it out, it'll appear like where it was in the house before you threw it out. So I wouldn't even throw it out. I actually kept it in the spare bedroom. It wasn't in my bedroom. I kept it in the spare bedroom and I never touched it since because I don't want to give it the chance to do that. It's still there. I don't live there anymore, but that board is still there in the spare bedroom in the same exact spot that I had put it in after we played with it. Why I played with it many years later, I don't know. During this time, I think it was a sophomore in high school. I could be wrong, but I think it was a sophomore in high school, and honestly, just this time period was just a really dark time for me. I was doing things that I shouldn't be doing, and this was definitely one of them. So yeah, I had played with my friend Tim and Melody. My friend Tim didn't actually touch the board. He didn't actually play with it, but he was just there like with us just because we needed his good energy. Luckily, I found God, but at this point in my life, I didn't. So, but he did. So we needed his good energy, We were just hanging out in his basement. We were watching a scary movie, and at this time, I was watching a lot of Sam and Colby. So they had played with the Ouija board plenty of times before, and I was like, okay, I want to do that because that looks like interesting. It looks cool. I don't want to come in contact with no like demons or anything, but it would just be cool to be able to communicate with spirits. I don't know. So we were in the basement, and I was like, I proposed the idea. I was like, hey, let's play with one. Tim was not down from the beginning. He looked at me like, I don't know. He just looked at me like I was absolutely psychotic, which honestly I was. Why would I do that? But Melody, she was on board. She's played with one before, so she was down with it. And she can actually see ghosts, so kind of cool. But Tim was not down. He was like, you're freaking crazy. We're not playing with one. No way, Jose, absolutely not. No. And I'm like, but come on, I was sitting there, I was reading all the rules, like I looked up on Google and I was like, how to play with one, and it told me all the rules, and I was like, look, I know all the rules, we're educated, she's played with one before, we know what we're doing. So he eventually just like gave in. He took us to Target and we bought one. I think it was a Harry Potter one. So cute. But yeah, so we bought one at Target and we had driven to the playground, and this playground was like right behind Tim's house. It was just like, it was a convenient location. So we pull up there and it's like 2 a.m. It's pitch black outside. It's a playground, and this playground is surrounded by woods, and it had previously rained like that day, so there was still puddles everywhere, and that is very important to know later on. So we're there and we just pull out the board. I talked such a big game. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I read the rules. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, no reason to be scared. Like, I got this. Yeah, well, when the board was pulled out and we started, like, saying hello, and that thing started moving immediately. There was no, like, 5 seconds and then it started moving. We said hello. I went there and that went, yes, like, immediately. I couldn't even look at the board. My legs were bouncing. My body was shaking. I was on the verge of tears. And I couldn't even look at the board. I couldn't do it. I was like, I want to stop. The entire time, I'm like, I want to stop. 2 seconds in after starting, I was like, I want to stop. So I talked up again. So I'm freaking out. And I know that I'm not moving it because I can't even look at the board. And I was also doing like this little thing to prove that I wasn't moving it. And she was also doing that. So I knew that she wasn't moving it. And she also said it felt like someone was like grabbing her arm and kind of moving her that way. But she wasn't moving it. And the next day, she actually woke up and she actually had bruises on her arm, so that was kind of scary. But I knew she wasn't moving it, I wasn't moving it, and that thing was moving quick. you know, so we were just asking it questions. We were like, hello, is anyone there? What's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? And it was answering us, but we couldn't understand. I think it was in a different language. Definitely was not in English, but it was answering us very quickly. And it looked like words, but we couldn't understand it. And I think we actually looked up one of the words, and it was some kind of language. I can't remember, but it definitely was a language. So yeah, it's spelling things out, and I'm freaking out. I can't even look at it. I'm like crying. And Tim's just like, no way. And Melody's just having the time of her life. She's like, this is so cool. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Then we asked how old it is. And remember, we are at a playground. And they answer, I believe it was 7 or 8. That's terrifying. Because personally, I think in like scary movies, when it's like the little kids that are laughing and giggling and like running across the hallway, that's so much more scarier than like the Nun. Like, children in scary movies are terrifying, more scary than the freaking Nun. So they entered 7 or 8, and I was like, also, demons pretend to be younger, so that's very important to remember, because it said it was 7 or 8, and demons can pretend to be kids. And if you look up the rules, this is so scary. When you look up the rules, there's a specific name. There's 2 things you're supposed to look for. If they happen, you need to like end the conversation immediately, close it out. One is a specific name. I won't say the name just because I don't want to put that out there. I want to sleep peacefully tonight. But if you want to look it up, go ahead. I won't even look it up. I won't even type it in my phone. That's how like scared I am of it. And then if it's like going back and forth kind of in a rainbow motion, but if it's going like back and forth really fast, you need to end it. All of a sudden, we're just talking to it, having a grand old time, it starts doing the rainbow motion super, super fast. Now the devil is coming to get you. So that's why I think the entire time we weren't actually speaking to this kid. We were actually speaking to this name I won't say, but we were speaking to that because all of a sudden I'm a 7-year-old to I'm gonna make this board move super, super fast in a back and forth motion, which is what this specific demon does. This is the devil's best friend. So we close it out, and I'm absolutely petrified. We're all scared because we all know what that means. I like read a lot of things, people's stories that when it had done that or it spelled the name out, like they experienced a lot of terrible things happening to them, and I was just super scared that that was going to happen to all of us. Luckily we were fine, but that was very scary. So anyways, after that happens, we're all in shock at this point. So we're just like, okay, well, what are we even gonna do? Like, what? So we take the board and we throw it out in the trash. I don't know if anyone knows this, but after you play with the board, you're not supposed to like keep the board and, oh my gosh, what's it called? The little piece that like moves, the little glass, you know? What's that called? If you know what it's called, tell me down below because I can't remember. But you're not supposed to leave those pieces together because if something's connected to it, it will be able to like move it, and it just like kind of opens it up just for them to come through again. So you're not supposed to do that. So we threw the board out. The second we threw the board out in the trash can, remember how I said it had rained like a couple hours before? We were right next to a basketball court. All of a sudden, we hear stomping in the basketball court, and it sounded like someone was stomping into puddles, which was scary because no one else is there. You can see in the basketball court because we were right next to it. No one else was there, so that was terrifying. There was no one else in the park, like, period, because we would have heard them, we would have seen them. We were the only car there. Like, you have to like pull up in the park because the whole back is all woods. So we literally heard stomping right next to us. So we freak out. Tim's like, frick no, we're getting out of here. He books to the car. I'm running to the car. I'm like, I don't even want to look outside because if I see something, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. So I'm like, I won't even look outside into the darkness. Melody's just like, she's freaking out kind of, but she's just like she's just chilling, you know? So then after that, we drive back to his neighborhood and we have the little piece, and he takes it, he puts it in front of his car, and he drives over it because we're not gonna give no demon, nobody the chance to come through there and ruin our lives, especially the one that we had encountered. We go back to his house after that, and we're just hanging out downstairs in the basement. They're chill, like they're just hanging out like nothing happened. I'm still freaking out. I'm like traumatized from it. Like, what the heck? We're just gonna pretend that never happened? Alright. So yeah, so then we go back to her house. I was spending the night at Melody's this night, and we had gone upstairs. We were just hanging out for a while, you know, whatever. And then we decided we're hungry, so we're like, okay, we gotta go downstairs and get a snack. She's like, okay, you can go down there. Girl, are you crazy? I am not going down there by myself. We just, in the dark, we just, you know, no, you're coming with me. So she comes down with me. And so we got the snacks. In the back of her house, all the windows are glass, and then she has the glass sliding door. So it's all glass in the back of her house. As I'm walking back, my back is towards all the glass. She's like, Haley, there's a little girl at the window. No. I'm like, no, there's not. She's like, yes, there is. There's a girl at the window. I'm like, Melody, I'm not looking. I am absolutely terrified. I am not turning my back, so I'm just gonna sit here and deny that there's anything at the window. Mind you, she can see ghosts. So I'm like, no, because what am I gonna do? Like, so I book it up the stairs. I'm running up the stairs because that little girl that's behind me is not gonna get me. No way. No way. So then we go upstairs and she goes to sleep. She's sleeping like a baby that night. I could not sleep at all that night. I was so scared that I was gonna hear footsteps coming up the stairs. I was gonna hear the 3 knocks at the door, which is the devil. We even had like the bedroom light on, and I still couldn't sleep. And for like a week straight, I was absolutely terrified because I was like, they're messing with me. They're gonna make me feel like I'm safe and I'm not haunted, and then all of a sudden come in and haunt me. Like, that's how I was. I was so scared. So yeah, I don't even know why I play with the board, because I'm that type that, like, when watching a scary movie, my feet have to be under a blanket, like tight, like a burrito. And my feet cannot be hanging off the bed, hanging off the couch, nothing. Like, they need to be on the bed, on the couch, whatever, and wrapped up in my blanket like a burrito. So I don't even know why I did this, but I'm absolutely like terrified. I will never play with the board again. Like, this was very like interesting. I think this was the most interesting experience I've ever had. I haven't had many. If you've ever experienced something paranormal or have ever played with the board, let me know your experiences down in the comments below, because I'd love to hear all your experiences and all that. So leave that down below. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications to be notified when I post next. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Mwah.